Hello.
Hey y'all, we back.
Hey. Welcome back to JA Millionaire Circle. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Jasmine, and this is Angelica. We are two ambitious Latina women sharing our journey from humble beginnings to millionaires. We talk about overcoming challenges, building an elite mindset, and our goal is to hopefully inspire other women from underprivileged backgrounds to pursue their dreams. So, welcome back to episode 11. If you guys have been following us, I apologize. We have missed a couple of weeks. Angelica and I have been busy little bees. The podcast is just one of our passion projects. We have other things that we are working on. And like to mention, Angelica has been preparing for her LSATs. Do you want
Yeah.
to mention anything about how that journey's going?
Um, I cry and then I get back up and then I cry and then I get back up and then I withdrew from the test because I impulsively made a decision. But I'm gonna do it though. It's just not on their time. So I just figured that on my time when I am ready and when I do as much practicing as possible that I'll be ready. But until then, I am going to handle this situation as graceful as possible and only focus on what I can control. And just continue being me and the senora I am for now.
Agreed. And that's awesome. Yeah, the fact is, you're not giving up. You're just figuring out how to pace yourself so that you can get to this goal. But bottom line, she is not giving up. We're just taking a step back and reassessing and trying to figure out how are we going to tackle this beast because
Yeah,
she's going to win because she
yeah,
always wins.
yeah. I like that. Thank you. That made me feel better because
And
it's
then me
hard.
on the other side, I mentioned it in earlier episodes, but if you haven't been following along, I am managing multiple businesses right now. I have a life coaching business that I have a website. I'm on social media. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, but I'm also starting an e-commerce business, and my product has finally got to the final stages, and we are looking to launch by Christmas. And
Yeah.
so things are about to get super nuts, super crazy, and I'm going to be launching my product through Amazon. The product is completely mine, but I'm going to be utilizing the Amazon platform for distribution. And I actually have a prototype here that I'm going to show
Let's
you guys really quickly. So I designed a lamp.
love it.
Okay, so it's not just an ordinary lamp. This is like a marble base. We have this beautiful, like powdery finish, shade here, and then adjustable knob. And the best part is comes with a remote, has a timer. You can set it to 2, 4, or 8 hours. And you can also change the intensity of the
Wow.
light, which is also associated with the warmer. So this will be launching. This is completely my design, and it's going to be launching hopefully by Christmas. So I'm going to be busy with that.
It's going to be
So
so cute.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. You forgot to mention that it's also going to hold a 3 week. The 3 weeks.
Yes, actually, yeah, I forgot to mention that. The candle size is big enough. The little warmer plate is big enough to hold a Bath and Body 3 wick candle. So if whatever candle you want from the Bath and Body size to something smaller, it can accommodate it. So
Yay.
exciting.
Me too. It's right in time for the holidays.
Well, everyone, get one for you, for your sister, for your best girlfriend.
Your baby daddy, your mama.
Whoever likes candles. So yeah, so I have a lot going on, getting ready to launch that. So we decided we'd come on and do one last episode so you guys have an idea of what's going on and we didn't just disappear.
Yeah, we
We
can't
are,
abandon you guys.
yeah, just wanted to give you guys a heads up. We're about to step away and call this the end of season one. And we want to come back at the end of January we are thinking about coming back January 28th. So that way, I know everyone's going to be focused on the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and I'm
Check out
also going to
the.
be in Mexico in January. So I'm going to be spending a couple weeks in the motherland with my grandma. I'm so excited.
Ooh, I'm excited for you. This is gonna be
Uh,
amazing. You deserve it. Wait,
I
what
know.
part? What part?
We are going to Merida. That is where we're from. So we are of Mayan descent. So I'm going to get to go see the like underground water caves. We're going to go see the pyramids. I'm going to go see
Wow.
my gente.
My gente, eat some aguachile tacos for me, please.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to get down on that food. I'm so excited. So, yeah, we'll be back end of January. So, look out for that. We're not going anywhere. We're just, we got to take a little break for Christmas and, we've got some other endeavors we're working on. But if you still um, I'm still available on social media, so please make sure you follow me on TikTok or Instagram. You guys can reach out to me, ask me questions. I'm still on there. Angelica's still working on her business, and I'm sure she'll be releasing soon. We'll keep you updated when she's out and about on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today's episode, um, I is it's very personal for me. I am going on a weight loss journey right now, and as I'm going through all of this, I thought, you know what? I think this would be a great topic to share because not only, is this a topic that a lot of us women have, front and center in our mind. I think even as Latina women, there's a lot of information that I just recently came across, like research and reports that I want to share with you guys because I believe a lot of our issues with our body image and our weight uh, is more than just willpower. I think we have some other issues at play that I would love to talk about. And um, I already, from dealing with some of this and having a wonderful conversation with Angelica, this is a woman who has gotten her body on point, and I consider her credible in this area. So I leaned on her when I was realizing I wanted to go on this journey. And I'm going to show you guys. You guys only see her on the screen. If you guys don't know her in real life, this girl is hot. She is so hot. And I'm going to show you guys pictures on the screen. And she doesn't know exactly which pictures I'm showing up because I'm going to have to do it afterwards. But you're going to see her in her costume. You're going to see her with her husband. And I'm just flashing them all up on the screen so you could see this amazing hot body. So this is my muse, this is my inspiration.
I love
But but backing up, I want to give you guys a little bit of a background as to why I believe that if you're having issues with weight, partially it's not your fault. And I'm going to explain why. There comes a point where you do have to take some ownership, but if you've been struggling, I'm gonna share some interesting facts that I have found from research that I'm gonna quote to you guys, um, building up to what was the final straw that I believed helped me to lose the weight. And I believe now that I understand this information, I'm going to be able to keep this weight off permanently. Not only attain it, but keep it off permanently. So, starting with, and please feel free to chime in anytime, Angelica, if you have questions or anything, because I'm just going to be rambling off some facts. So, first of all, and this is geared towards Latinos, subliminal messaging from a young age. There was a research report that came out from Yale University. It said Hispanic teens were exposed to 99% more ads than their white counterparts. And this was according to a Yale University study on how soda and beverage companies target minorities. So, one, we are already targeted subliminal messaging from soda and food companies more than any other, well, more than our white counterparts. The second part is our food supply. Our food supply has changed. A lot of fiber has been removed from our food. And the thing why that's important is fiber and sugar are supposed to be eaten together, and that's what helps sugar from spiking too much. And it helps us to digest food. It helps us to feel full. It helps things to be a little bit more regulated. But fiber has been stripped from our food to allow for us to just basically consume straight sugar. And then second, well, we already know sugar is very addictive. It's as addictive as I'm gonna have to bleep that out. But you know what I'm talking about. And then second, sugar has been added to our food. So in these situations where they have reduced fat or where they have decreased calories, while we're focusing on the reduced fat and we're focusing on the reduced calories, they've actually been keeping the sugar content or increasing the sugar content, because when you take away the fat, you're taking away the good taste. So then they had to make it more palatable by adding the sugar. So now we have no fiber or less fiber, and we have more sugar, making the food more addictive and less filling. And then the last one, if you are eating food like healthy foods, like homegrown or,
Organic.
vegetables, yeah, like things like that, believe it or not, that has an issue too. Because of our commercial agriculture and the way that we have been like basically stripping and depleting the soil from its minerals year after year, our foods that traditionally used to be loaded with all of the minerals that we needed don't necessarily have them anymore. So you may eat food but not be meeting all of your minerals that you need, and so your body will continuously make you want to continue eating because it's feeling like something's missing. So that's another part that triggers that cycle of wanting to continue to consume. So we have all that going on in our food supply. And then these are my last 2 points that are going to wrap into where I think I have been. So there was a research paper that came out from UT Health San Antonio, and this is regarding Latinos and childhood trauma. The research shows Latinos 77.8% are more likely than all youth, 70%, to have adverse childhood experiences, poverty, neglect, abuse, or household dysfunction, i.e., parental divorce, violence, substance abuse, mental health issues. Okay, so almost 80% of us Latinos have experienced a form of childhood trauma. Now, there's another report from the National Institute of Health that shows that there is a correlation between obesity and childhood trauma. And I don't want to read the whole thing, but basically, the findings found out that if you have been exposed to childhood trauma, there's a relationship between the trauma and the abuse, saying that you basically use food as a coping mechanism, or if you've experienced any type of like sexual abuse or physical abuse, either one, as a child, that you may inadvertently be putting weight on as a shield to desexualize yourself, because that is the way your brain has figured out how to protect you. So I know that's a lot of information, and it's really heavy, to believe that your weight is actually could be associated with childhood trauma. And in my situation, I'm going to be very vulnerable here. I knew the first stuff that we talked about, the calories in, calories out, the food supply, all of that is stuff I've already known. I have a bachelor's degree in kinesiology with an emphasis in exercise science. I was a fitness trainer for 8 years, and a spin instructor for 6 years, and I also competed in women's bodybuilding. So that the logistics of fitness, exercise, and how food works, like I've always understood this, but I have lived a life of struggling with my weight and struggling with body image for a very long time, like since I was a little child. And I have since, in the last few years, I've gone through therapy. I have gone through all of these, all of my unprocessed trauma. And I got to a point where I was like, I can love myself now. I can love my body now. There's no need to hate it anymore because anytime I exercised or dieted, it was always driven by hate. I hate my body. I hate the way I look. Why do I have to be fat? Why do I have everything? It was always from a negative place. It was never coming from a positive place. So after I had gone through therapy, the last thing I wanted to do was anything to my body. And that was really hard because I had friends that were like, "You're not exercising anymore." I'm like, "No." Because I had now associated it with something negative, and I'm like, we're loving my body now. We're being kind to our body now. And maybe this is just the weight that I'm going to be at. But what I realized is I needed some time to heal with my trauma with exercise and with dieting and with all of that. And I finally feel that I was at a point this year that I am now ready to address it. And the fact is, yes, I do love my body. I've gotten to a really, really good place, but I am at an unhealthy weight, or I've been at an unhealthy weight because I am only 5'2". And when I quit my job, I was over 160 pounds. I have no idea what I was, but I know I was over 160 pounds. And for somebody of my height, I need to be under 130 pounds for health reasons. And so the cool part was I think I lost a couple pounds, maybe even 5 pounds before I realized that I was losing weight after I quit my job. Like the stress of it was gone now. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to get to a healthy place in my weight. And that's when I called Angelica. And I'm like, okay, you've got a hot body, girl. So how do I get there? Like help me figure out the block. And she wasn't the only person that I reached out to. I reached out to a couple of other people, but they couldn't help me like get to that. I was, because you reach out to your girlfriends and you're like, hey, I'm struggling with this, and then they give you their advice, and you're like, that's not it. That's not it. No, that's not happening. And previous to Angelica, the people that I was talking to, they seem to be coming from a negative point of like, I hate my body, or like it's just not good enough. And I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute. I just overcame that trauma. I'm not trying to be motivated by hate or negativity. Then I talked to Angelica. And I'm pumping this up because it was so refreshing to hear somebody say, I love my body. Oh, my body's gorgeous. She's like, I get turned on by my own body. And I'm like, okay, please tell me more. Please tell me more. I've never heard somebody be so in love, in a good, healthy love for their body. And I'm like, please tell me more because this is where I want to go. This is where I want to be. I want it driven and propelled by love. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize, because like again, me and her were kind of going through the same exercise. Like, well, what about this? And what about that? And I was like, no, that's not it. No, that's not it. And, she went through, the typical things that may motivate somebody. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to do it for me. And the thing that she said that made me realize now going back to this trauma stuff was, don't you want to have a look that draws people to you? And her example was like, don't you want to be that girl that sits at a table and somebody comes to you and brings you drinks? Somebody comes to your table. And I'm like, I don't think that's ever happened to me. And it finally clicked because I've always been the aggressor. I've always been the pursuer. That way, everything happened in my court. Everything happened when I wanted to happen. I didn't realize until that moment that I was not okay being seen. I had kept the weight on intentionally as a protective barrier. And I was okay with it. I had accepted it. That's why when I would go out with Angelica and, in her little hot little outfits, and I'd be like, yeah, that's my hot friend. I know everyone's looking at her. I'm like, I'm just, I'm just the smart chubby girl, and I'm okay with that. And I had accepted that. I had realized that it was trauma that I had experienced
Try not to
younger.
cry. It's so real. Sorry.
I had experienced trauma as a child, and until I knew how to advocate for myself and knew how to protect myself, my body did it for me. My body said, okay, well, if we put weight on, you have a protective shield, and then nobody can hurt you. Nobody's going to see you. And you fade into the background. I'm used to being in the background. I'm used to having like, Angelica's one of my hot friends. I've got lots of hot girlfriends and I'm like, I let them shine. I'm like, yeah, that's the cute one. I'm the chubby friend over here. And I had accepted that. Oh, amigo. What are you thinking?
Well, it's just
What's crossing your
hard.
mind?
It's hard to listen to that because I love you so much, and I know you're not meaning it at all from that standpoint, but overcoming it, and it's hard to hear the transition you had to go through to transform to this mindset because when I got to being on my fitness journey, yes, I was maybe around 147 when I realized too, oh shoot, I'm 5'5". This isn't a good weight for me either. And it took a really bad breakup for me to be like, I was mad at myself too. Just it was a different transformation and transition for me. But I took the class in college and I went 3 days a week. And then 4 months later, I transformed my body completely. But just hearing you talk about this again, it just, I, I wish that, I wish that we would experience in a different way. And it just sucks that we have to go through the tornadoes, the storms, the rain to actually get to this beautiful place and say, okay, I have my beautiful yard here. What flowers can I plant here to make it more appealing? You know?
Yeah.
Because in that journey you made, like, I remember feeling at 147, I was just like, I didn't care. Like, I felt because I was molested at one point, and I think it's normal in our culture to, you know, be a victim of molestation. That even for me, I didn't really care after a while because, spiritually speaking, I think growing up and seeing my mother and her side of the family, they call it a Jezebel spirit. So showing off their goods and using their body to propel them further in life, made me. I worked at Hooters, so at one point I was using it too, like, and then it made me have, um, like I felt sick. I was like, "Ew, why am I doing this? This isn't how I should be earning my living or anything." And then after a while, I started muffling it and eating because I didn't want to be seen that way. I didn't want to be like my mother. I didn't want to be like her mother. I didn't want to be like her family, using their bodies to get ahead. And I remember it took one guy, and I went and did all my working out and stuff. And you called me at a good time in my life because I've been consistently fit since 2017, and I've not ever not worked out for more than 4 times a week. Like, I really am adamant about my discipline and working out. But when you called me and you were explaining this to me, it's like reliving it again for you and me. But I remember telling you, I was like, you don't want to fuck yourself. Like, that's, and
I'm gonna have to bleep that.
I know, but that's, because you asked me, and I didn't even realize how it came off for you. But I remember you asking me, and you were asking about my body and how you were trying to, like, figure out where you were trying to find your missing piece. And I was just like, girl, I love my body. I'll fuck myself. I was just on this high with her, just talking about it. Like, you're getting out and being chased is a good feeling to know that, dang, like, I earned this. It's almost like a respect for, an attraction for respect, because I think putting in all those, I mean, nobody wants to go to the gym. I don't like going to the gym, but I'm like, do I want to lose my 4 pack, or do I just want to go to the gym and shut up and eat it? Because no one ever remembers the one that was almost good enough. No, they won't. They remember all those bodybuilders, Rocky Balboa, all those boxing movies, because they were the best. It wasn't because they were almost the best. Like, you have to give it your all. And that, for me, I feel like when I do look at someone, not in a judgmental way, but when I do see that they're fit and they take care of their lifestyle and everything, that those two things, eating good and working out, that automatically tells me what I need to know about, and that they respect themselves, and that how they do those things is how they do everything else, like opening the door, paying with their cash or credit, how they eat, like all those little details tell me everything I need to know. And it's a very strong sign of respect for me. I mean, forget you can have all these degrees, you can have the job, blah blah blah, but if you're not physically fit, you're not mentally strong. You know?
Yeah, I think that's, kind of sums up the things that you were telling me that I was like, oh, wow. And it finally clicked for me, like on so many levels. So, like, I was like, oh my God, childhood trauma. That's what it is. That's what it is. And I had grown accustomed to accepting it. And I'm like, no, I don't need to. And it's not coming from a place of hate. It's because of a place of love that I deserve to be at a healthy weight, and kind of making that correlation and saying, I had to have a talk with myself, a very loving talk with myself. And I said, you know what? I realize why you did it, and I love you for it. Thank you so much for keeping me safe until I had the proper tools to protect you. And so you did it. You kept me alive. You kept me safe. And so I thanked my body for its service. Like, thank you. And you can release it now, because you've got a badass behind the wheel now. Like, I know how to advocate for myself. I know how to set boundaries. I know how to keep myself safe. And I just keep reminding myself every day, like anytime I have any nervousness or any kind of anxiety around the weight, I'm like, you're safe now. It's okay to release it. Like, you're safe. And it sounds like such a weird process, but in the first few days when I made a conscious effort, I had to remind myself, almost like a mantra, you're safe. It's okay. It's okay to release it. It's fine. It's okay to be seen. It's okay to be healthy. It's okay to be at this weight now. And that was the biggest thing, is like, it's okay to be seen. That is a scary thought when you realize that this has kept you invisible to a certain extent. And the other part that resonated with me was not because I'm dying for men to come up to me.
No.
The other part was, I am on my entrepreneur journey right now. The last thing I want is to not be seen. I want to draw people to me, both men and women. And if that means also my aesthetic plays a role into it, and that's going to draw people that want to get to know me, want to learn about my business, like, I'm going to radiate that confidence and that energy as well. And I want to do this for my health. I want to do this for my business. And I finally believe with all of my heart that I deserve this. I guess I never really thought I did, and now I do. And now the funny thing is, I've been up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm on the treadmill at 5 a.m. I'm texting Angelica. I'm like, I'm already getting it, girl. I'm already getting it.
I know, and I'm an hour ahead of y'all. I'm like, dang girl, let me catch you.
My EDM's playing all loud. Like this morning, I was like, let's get down to business.
I was at the gym. I was happy. I mean, I love getting those messages because I'm like, you are letting it go. Like, you're like, coping. I'm doing
Mhm.
this. And I'm
Exactly.
so proud of you for that. It
That
takes
was
some
my
time.
last missing piece, and it was so wild because I've talked to so many people, and it wasn't until we talked where I was like, "Oh my God, that was it. That was the piece." And now I've since, like I said, I've lost already over 10 pounds. I'm already more than like a pant size and a half down. And at the rate I'm going, I should be at my goal weight by January, February, which is about 26 more pounds to go. But I'm losing it healthy. And the other thing I think of is I also have the same genetic condition as my mom, and the less tissue I have, the less tissue I'll have to get sick. So
That's a good way to look at it. It really is. Like, you got to find the positive of it all. And you really have done it. You've come such a long way. Like, I remember when you visited, you had brought your laptop and you were still like, it was hard for you to even get on like weekend mode, let alone
Hmm.
vacation. So I'm just excited to see where and when you take this journey. Like I'm
Girl,
excited.
I'm always on business mode. I don't know how to
Yeah.
turn it off.
No. Like she showed up in a whole work outfit, tucked her things in a corner, and was like, "What's the itinerary? Hold on." Like that's so you.
Like, what time do you need me ready? I'll be ready. And I
Yeah.
am. I'm like,
Yeah.
how dare other people not be ready on time?
No, I know. It was a I mean that's a whole other podcast. Again.
That weekend alone is a whole podcast.
Oh man.
Girl. And it
But
wasn't me and Angelica. We were
oh,
well behaved. It was everybody else.
oh man. I mean, don't you ever think like, am I in a simulation? Like
I could not believe I have never been in a situation like that ever in my life. I was like, is this for real? Like, is
where's
this
the
really
cameras?
like this cannot be real. People don't act like this. This is wild.
It was very much real.
Yeah.
But we don't want to
We'll,
spend
we'll
time on that. We'll
yeah,
save the cheese mint for later. But
we'll share that. Just ask us about it later and we'll make
yeah,
sure to do a whole podcast because believe me, it is podcast worthy.
yeah. We should do like two cheese mint episodes every now and then. Like, one
All
circle
right, I like
later.
that. Hey, if
Yeah.
you guys want to hear more Cheeseman, put that in the comments. Cheeseman.
You made it this far, put that in the comments. But I mean, we're open to sharing some of our stories. Just don't come sue us for it. But anyway,
Yeah, we're trusting you. This is a safe space, okay?
I did want to say strength. I wrote this down. Strength isn't just in your arms; it's in your mind. And a strong body is a weapon, a consistent reminder to the world and everyone else that you do not compromise. So leaving that with the fitness topics, like believe it or not, I have a hard time getting my butt in the gym sometimes. I do, but I have a specific playlist, and I put on my what is it? What's that song? Every millennial knows it when the beat drops. It's like that shaking butt song.
I have no idea. When you're shaking your butt to it.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh no, I need to. It's that one that we all know, and it's like dun dun dun. I probably sound stupid. I don't even
Oh,
know.
oh, oh, oh. Back that
Yeah,
up.
yeah. I have my playlist, so I just put it on, and it's like I'm in. Like I'm, do my 6 miles on the Peloton, and I keep it going. Or I mean, to me, it's like I don't want one day for my husband to come up to me and be like, "Hey, I decided to take us for Monaco for the weekend," and then I'm not ready.
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like, who wants to go to Monaco and not look good? You can't. You know what I mean?
breathe.
You have to stay
Breathe.
ready so you don't
I'm
have
gonna
to.
be always ready for Monaco.
Yeah, I'm Monaco ready, and
Oh my God, I'm so excited. So, all right, well, like we still have a few more minutes. Let's talk about things that keep you motivated. So, like if there's people out there that are on their, weight loss journey, and you guys have addressed the food, you've addressed the exercise, and you're doing it. And now, and again, the other critical part that I think we miss a lot because people focus on the food and they focus on the exercise, make sure you've worked on the mental health issues because otherwise it's just a cycle and you're gonna keep gaining the weight off and then you're gonna get it up and then you're gonna get it down. So those are the three things I would say I can't emphasize enough. Learn the food, learn exercise, and understand what are your triggers so that you do not have to keep going on this exercise yo-yo or weight loss yo-yo. But I would love to share, and have Angelica share, and I'll share things that we're doing to make it fun, things that we do to stay motivated. So let's start with you. Like, what do you do, Angelica, to stay motivated and make it fun?
the number one thing for me is every morning, because now I switched it to working out in the morning because it's less pressure for me. So going in the morning, that's one. But just the words that, those shows that have like the light where it says applause or whatever, my mind immediately goes to, do you want to compromise? And it's like, because I don't want to compromise what I've worked hard for since 2017 just to throw it away because I don't feel like working out today. I mean, even though the sun goes down at 3 o'clock over here, that's my motivation. It's like, am I going to compromise today? Yes or no? No, I want to be the best. That's my reminder. I listen to my music, my Nicki Minaj, or my Drake, and I have these things in my checkout basket on a few windows in my phone, and it's like, I need to look good in this, so I need to stay fit. And plus, it costs more money to gain weight for me than it is to lose because it's like I'm not going to go out of my. I'm not going to go. If I have to go out of my way to buy a bigger size, that's a problem. So
Hmm.
that's my motivation right there. I want my clothes to all fit.
Well, I'm kind of going through a great stage because I can't go shopping because entrepreneur here, every dollar is going towards this dream. So I'm like, okay, well, this is the perfect time to be losing weight because I'm not shopping. So when I start making my money again, through this endeavor, then when I go shopping again, it's going to be a much smaller size.
Yeah, there
So
you
that's
go.
got me motivated. So I'm doing a couple of things that have got me really excited. So right now, I'm having to be extremely frugal because all of every dollar is accounted for right now going towards this dream. So I started intermittent fasting. So I was able to drop down my grocery bill to under $60 a week. And that is breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and everything is homemade. Like we're like chopping it up, like
Mm.
homemade. I'm getting recipes from Pinterest, staying low carb. And yes, so I'm
In this
saving money.
economy,
I
$60.
know. I'm like, it's not affecting me at all because everything I buy is completely made from scratch. Like if I'm doing yams, like I'm buying the big old yam and I'm chopping it up. If I'm doing zucchini, anything, you name it, I'm doing everything from scratch. And I have the time now. So I am making all my meals from scratch. And then there's 3 days where I'm intermittent fasting. So I've saved money on not eating those 3 days.
You don't eat
So
for
there's
3 days?
what's that?
You don't eat for 3 days?
No, when you intermittent fast, you start like at in the evening. So I stop eating at 6 o'clock p.m. and I don't eat until the next day until 12. So basically
Like, yeah,
lunch, was that?
I sort of kind of yawned inside, but geez. No, that
Yeah.
wasn't intentional. I've been up since 4:30, but
Yeah, same.
wow.
Yeah, so I stop eating, I eat again at noon, but I only do that 3 days because the thing is, if you do that too often, you'll actually start to slow down your metabolism because your metabolism's really smart. It will adjust to whatever you do. If you eat a lot, it'll adjust to that. If you eat a little, it'll adjust to that. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep tricking and challenging my metabolism. So Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I intermittent fast, and then Tuesday, Thursday, and then the weekends I eat breakfast. But small, I'm going everything like portion size, low carb. So that's been fun because like now I'm saving money and eating healthy and losing weight. And then the other thing that I started doing that I've been sending Angelica clips of is I love to meditate in the morning. So I meditate, I visualize, and then I got this idea because I have a walking pad. And so my goal is to do 10,000 steps a day. And I also joined a walking club that I join them a couple times a week. But when I'm at home, I will get the walking pad and I'll put it in front of the TV and I'll go on YouTube and put billionaire visuals and it'll be on mute and it's just showing like luxury cars and luxury hotels and private jets and like just all these visuals. And I have my earphones on and I'm listening to like my EDM, getting all pumped up and watching these visuals. And I'm getting stimulated from the music, I'm getting stimulated from the visual, and then I'm walking and I'm like, I'm getting so excited. I'm like, that's my Ferrari. That's my, I'm going
Yeah,
on vacation over there. That's my Monaco trip right there.
yeah.
That's Angelica's yacht that I'm gonna be on.
One day, One day.
One day, one day.
That is
So
such a
that to me has
no.
been really motivating. But I mean, you could put anything on. Like you could watch visuals of bodybuilders, female bodybuilders, if that, gets you going. But whatever for me right now, I'm trying to manifest a certain lifestyle. So I want to get comfortable with the exposure of like, yes, I'm comfortable being in a Ferrari. I'm comfortable being in a McLaren. I'm comfortable eating at those restaurants. I want to get so much exposure that I'm not intimidated by those things, even though I didn't grow up with those things. Because again, we could always, growing up like we did, we weren't exposed to those things. So it's very easy to feel like an imposter in that world. But we're doing everything we can and we're working our butts off and we deserve to be in those rooms and we deserve to have those things. And so that's part of like, let's add this in, I'm already getting my exercise. Let's do some visualizations while we're at it.
I
So
love.
that's what I've been doing and that's been making it fun.
Yeah, she sends me videos in the morning really early, so I'm gonna start incorporating that too. Maybe I'll get mine a lot faster because something's gotta give. I don't know. The
And it's
small
good
degree.
constantly to share ideas because I'm sure, like right now, I'm just kicking this off, but you've been in maintenance mode for so long. So, like, there's got to be ways that you have to refresh yourself and get excited again. And I'm just a few weeks into this. So, I've got to make sure that I keep this going, keep that momentum going, that excitement going.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you. You went from coping mechanisms to striving and striding and making strides, and you're out of that. So I'm excited for you because it's like you're a caterpillar, like you're going to your butterfly, like you're in your butterfly era. So I'm super,
I know,
super
it's so exciting. It's been one heck of a year, and as we're getting close to the end, since we won't see everybody, this has been one wild year for me. I
me
was
too.
looking back and wow, a lot of big things happened for me and big things happened for you, Angelica. Like I went to just this year, I went to New York, London, Paris, Rome, Denver.
Jeez, the year's
I
not
was
even
with you in
over.
January, so
No.
it that all happened this year. California, I've been to California like 3 or 4 times this year. And my mom fought and beat cancer and I quit my job and like
Jeez.
you moved how many times?
Oh my goodness. One, two, three, four, like 4 or 5 times this year because
Oh
it was such a like transition, and then we had to stay at different states to make the drive to the East Coast from Texas to Oklahoma. I mean, I don't even want to think about it. I'm sorry. My husband wants to buy a house, and it's like, geez, like if I have to move one more time,
my.
I'm acclimating. But honestly, if I look back at it, it's been an amazing year. Like I found out, when you move is really when you find out who your family is, who your friends are, because no one talks about how lonely the journey is. Moving across states is not for the weak. And
Amen, sister.
you really learn about who really cares and loves you in a deeper
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, moving, I've done it by myself and if anything, it made me closer to my family, closer to my friends because you
Same.
want to cling on to them so much harder now and you're like, I
Yeah.
didn't appreciate you when you were in my backyard.
Yeah, I know. I feel that way. I know. Well, I can't wait to see you. I'm going to see you like in 3 weeks, so I'm excited for that.
Yay.
I want to commend you on your bravery today for being so vulnerable. You made me cry because
Oh,
we both had our moment, but I just want to commend you and thank you so much for sharing your vulnerabilities with us. And I'm so proud of you. And you guys,
aw.
she's kicking, she's taking life by its horns, and she's going. I'm so proud of you.
Yes, and so are you. And I hope you guys enjoyed this first season, our very first season. And we're so excited to come back in January with some fresh topics and give you the updates on how our business ventures are going, whether they're going great or going bad. We'll still share everything with you. And I hope this gives you some inspiration for setting some really ambitious goals next year. So I want you guys to enjoy your Thanksgiving, enjoy your Christmas, and come back in January ready to kick ass with us because here we only win.
Yeah. And that's it, baby. Happy Hanukkah. I'm not a
Happy
Christmas.
Hanukkah, Merry Christmas. We love you guys so much.
And we
So
can't wait.
don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss when we kick off the new season 2. And until then, keep chasing your dreams and making them a reality.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.